Through the use of the audio visualization experience on this sitting Qigong relaxation and mind expansion therapy video, you will actually be able to experience the Qi, prana, or life energy traditional Chinese medicine and yoga's Ayurvedic systems are based upon.
We are not solid and impenetrable mass, but we are open and permeable. So the Qi or life energy can flow through us just as easily as it flows through the air around us. In fact, the only thing that can limit the flow of Qi is a thought limitation. So when I invoke the image of a soothing flow of light or relaxing energy flowing down through your head and brain and face, you may think to yourself, this skull is solid mass, so that energy can't flow through it. Then your tiny cranial muscles will tighten up a little bit, and you will limit the flow of energy and its healing benefits. Therefore, just sit back and enjoy the following sitting Qigong exercise without worrying about how to do it, because the Qi will flow through you easily and effortlessly just by your willingness to let go. As we begin this exercise, I will use the term light when referring to the Qi or life energy. This concept connotes permeability, like when sitting outside on a nice fall day and the warm sun seems to flow right through your skin and sink right into your bones. So this doesn't necessarily mean an optical light, but more of a soothing silken energy that may feel light and airy. Begin with your feet flat on the floor and your hands palm down, comfortable on your lap. Let your eyes close easily and naturally. Notice how your lungs fill and empty, becoming aware of your breath. Notice how the bottom of the lungs fills as the abdomen slightly expands, and then fill the lungs to the top as the chest expands out slightly. As you release the breath, observe how the upper chest relaxes in, and then the abdominal wall relaxes in as the lungs completely and effortlessly expel. This full diaphragmatic breathing is used in Tai Chi as well as the sitting Qigong exercises. When releasing the breath, think of allowing all the muscles to let go through the head, face, neck, and shoulders, chest, and back. Allow the shoulders to drop, relaxing away from the neck. As we breathe and let go, notice how the breaths become not only deeper, but at the same time more and more effortless, almost as if the breath were beginning to breathe us. In breathing and releasing, the body begins to expand open as if the very atoms were expanding away from one another, which they actually are. It's just the opposite of when we get tense or tight. We get smaller and a little bit shorter. As we breathe and open, the atoms actually expand away from one another. It's as if the wind could blow right through you. Don't feel as though you have to sit perfectly still through this exercise. Yawn as often as you like, and if you need to fidget or scratch an itch, then do so. However, keep your eyes closed because we will go through layers of awareness, and each time you open your eyes, it will take you back a bit. Again, take nice full breaths and let the whole body relax the breaths out, as if the bones themselves could let go. Now think of the sun directly above your head, and just by thinking of it, you may experience a subtle lift or a lightening throughout your body, as if we rise to a higher, more subtle vibratory rate of this silken lighted awareness. Let go of trying to feel or make. Just sit back, breathe, and let go, observing effortless responses. Now think of the sun above the head opening and releasing a shower of clear silken light pouring over your head, torso, arms, legs, through your feet, and right down into the earth below. Once you think the thought, let go of it. Let all your cranial muscles let go and simply enjoy the experience of release as you are washed through by this cleansing light. Be aware of it expanding through the muscles in the top of the head. As they fill with lightness, they begin to relax and release their grip on the skull, expanding down through the sides and the back of the head until the entire scalp is lighted. Every follicle filled with light, flowing out through every hair on the head until the root of every hair is floating in a pool of liquid effortlessness. Experience as the scalp relaxes on the skull. and the light permeates. And now expanding down into the back of the head, into those muscle groups at the base of the skull. As those muscles fill with light, they begin to release their grip on the bones in the back of the neck and the shoulders and the upper back, up through the back and sides of the head. The hinges of the jaw begin to light as the deep skeletal muscles let go. Now over the forehead, across the brow, and down the bridge of the nose. Not trying to feel or make anything happen, but sitting back and effortlessly observing as the soothing energy expands into the left eye socket, and now into the right eye socket. All the tiny optical muscles letting go and floating effortlessly in the expanding radiance. The nose, cheeks, mouth, and lips open to the lightness as it flows up through the nose into the deepest recesses of the sinus cavities, where you can experience an effortless release as the sinuses fill with light. Now the ears and the sides of the head, the tiny bones and muscles of the inner ears releasing as the light permeates, allowing the eustachian tubes to open, energy flowing down into the mouth. As the mouth fills with light, the upper palate, gums, and even the teeth seem to light. The tongue and the lower jaw, the gums and teeth from one side all the way around to the other. Now any saliva gathered in your mouth, swallow it and experience the energy moving down through the neck and throat to expand throughout the chest. The heart itself begins to illuminate. Again, if you catch yourself trying to make or feel something happen, let all that go. Sit back and be willing to feel absolutely nothing as you passively observe the lightness expanding through the heart and chest, lighting all the fibrous tissue of the lungs. Every breath we breathe in breathes lighted oxygen, carried with every beat of the heart to all the extremities. In fact, every cell is lighted as it's carried through all the liquid systems of the body, leaving every cell radiant with a silken effortlessness. Expanding now through all the organs, lighting the stomach, the liver, spleen and intestinal tract, down through the kidneys and the lower back. Now think of the sun above your head for a moment, opening and releasing an even greater flow of light, pouring over and through you into the earth. Again, once you think the thought, let go of it, and then open to an experience of expanded release as the bones themselves open to a cleansing shower. As the skull is permeated, the light expands into the billions of brain cells, lighting the left frontal lobe of the brain, and then the right. Expanding through the midbrain and temporal lobes, and on into the brain stem or the old brain in the back. It's as if the brain were a muscle that we've clenched for a long, long time. And as we let go and allow the light to permeate the cells, it's as if that muscle is finally letting go, opening and lighting. Effortless and soothing, releasing any straining thoughts into the silken, cleansing expanse of lightness. Now allow the energy to flow down the spine throughout the entire nervous system, to the furthest dendrites in the skin. Release any nervous tension in the frayed nerve endings into the cleansing effortlessness of that expanding light. As it expands around to the solar plexus and the nerve bundle there, the highest concentration of nerves outside of the brain itself, so any of the nervous tension that we hold in the abdominal or stomach area can be released into this expanding lightness. As it moves down to the very tip of the tailbone where it radiates out, filling the pelvic bowl, legs, feet, and pouring right on down through the open feet into the cleansing earth. So this is a very effortless process as we allow the light to pour over us from above and allow the earth to draw any loads right out through our open feet in its gentle pull of gravity. All we need to do is simply breathe open, and be willing to let go. As we allow this cleansing shower to pour through us, you may become aware of blocks in the flow. These blocks can manifest themselves in many forms, such as muscle tension, tightness, aches, angst, or feelings of anxiety. Basically, any form of discomfort or dis-ease is a signal of blocked energy. Therefore, you don't want to try not to feel these blocks or repress them in any way. Actually, let yourself be right in the center of those feelings. Feel how they feel and where you feel them. Then, with the next deep releasing exhale, think of letting the light expand right in the center of the block, and then just sit back to experience as it begins to effortlessly open and release its loads into the cleansing shower of light pouring through us. With each deep releasing breath, the mind, body, and heart can let go at even deeper levels. Yes, the heart is a muscle, and as you relax out a sigh or yawn, the heart can begin to let go of emotions you may have repressed or held onto. Think of the brain, mind, and cranial muscles letting go as you release the breath. As we allow the heart and the brain to open and let go, the cleansing shower can begin to wash loads we've squeezed in the mind and heart. We can begin to let go of fears, tensions, and worries that we've squeezed in the tissue. As always, the more you let go, the more you can let go. Think of the downpour from above intensifying 10 times over, and then sit back and observe the responses. Let the feet open even more for elimination. Release any remaining loads into the cleansing shower. Now think of the feet closing, and instantly that happens. Immediately you may begin to experience the sensation on the soles of the feet, as a silken cocoon of energy backfills up and over the feet, ankles, calves, thighs, hips, hands, arms, torso, shoulder, neck, and head, until it overspills over the top of your head as the body is saturated with light. As the light continues to flow over and through the body, think of the hands opening. Just by thinking the thought, it happens with no effort, and immediately light begins to pour out through your hands and fingers. With eyes still closed, slowly lift your hands up in front of you as if you're holding a giant beach ball in between them. So your hands are about 3 or 4 feet apart, palm facing palm, as if you were about to clap. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths and allow the entire body to relax. Even though the hands are still raised, let every muscle in the upper body just let go. Now, with eyes still closed, slowly move your hands in towards one another. Open them to the experience of the energy we've begun to gather, throughout and around ourselves, but also between our hands as well. Move the hands in until they're almost touching, but not quite. Let yourself get a sense of the feeling, and then slowly move them back apart, feeling the difference as they move away from one another, until again they're 3 or 4 feet apart. Take a couple of deep breaths, again letting go of the muscles. Again, slowly move the hands in towards one another, opening them to the sensation of energy until they're almost touching. As you slowly move them apart again, notice the difference in sensation as they move away from one another. Before we do this one last time, take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to again let the entire body relax. The more we relax, the more easily this river of energy pours through our body and arms and out through our open hands. It's a letting experience. We don't have to try. Now one last time, very, very slowly, move the hands in until they're almost touching. Experience. As you slowly move them apart again, experience the difference and gently place them back down on your legs. Now let all that go. With each releasing breath, allow yourself to relax a bit more into your chair with each exhale. By letting all that go, we can now touch back into the shower of light pouring over us from above. As we're saturated with light, it overspills over the top of the head, filling the field around us. Until very quickly, it seems as though we were literally floating in an ocean of expanding lightness. With each releasing breath, you can allow yourself to expand with this light. And in doing so, continue to release loads and tensions that you may have squeezed in your mind or your body. These loads are effortlessly drawn out magnetically in all directions, like ethereal iron filings being drawn outward from the deepest part of your mind and body, lifted and cleansed as you breathe and let go. You can literally feel loads and burdens beginning to be lifted up and off your shoulders. Again, just by breathing and being willing to let go. Worries and concerns are now lifted off the brow and the temples and seemingly right up out of the brain itself. The deep facial muscles begin to release tensions they've held onto. Now the heart can begin to release any heaviness or angst it's held onto. With each releasing breath, allowing the heart to open even more. Allowing the deepest part of the heart to open, the muscles within and around it, letting go. As we continue to release loads, we can begin to open to the permeant lightness expanding within and throughout us. The more we let go, the lighter we become. There's literally no limit to how much light we can assimilate, save a thought limitation. So wherever we become aware of tension or restriction or tightness in thought or feeling, with each releasing breath, we can allow the lightness to expand within that, allow ourselves to open, to become lighted, effortless. This process of release, expansion, cleansing, and lighting will continue for hours after completing this experience. In fact, the rhythm of your breath and the willingness to let go will continue this effortless release. Opening and lighting. Take a few more deep cleansing breaths as we continue to allow every cell and every aspect of the field within and around us to open, to assimilate this radiant lightness as we actually become light. Being lighted is a natural state. It's the squeezing, the tension, the fears that cuts off the flow, the assimilation, the expanse of our natural state of lightness. So as we breathe and open through these experiences, we become closer to our natural selves, our lightedness, our effortless nature. With each cleansing breath, allowing ourselves to open at deeper levels, to again assimilate light, floating in this ocean of expanding lightness. Every cell, every aspect of us in the field around us becoming radiant, healed. Now, very slowly and very gently, when you're ready, open your eyes.